Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. On behalf of Passcode Global Consultants team, I want to welcome you all to this session. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. If you know someone who wanted to join the webinar today, you can tell them that the webinar has started so that they can join and we can proceed together. So my name is Ruth Kariri. I'm the marketing executive for Passcode Global Consultants. And I'm going to allow my team to also introduce themselves, those who have already joined us, so that we can start the session. So Sharon, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Kindly introduce yourself to the team before I continue.
All right. Thank you, Ruth, for the opportunity.
Sorry?
Thank you for the opportunity. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, I can hear you.
All right. Um, Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Mamboy. I'm the languages coordinator at Passcode Global Consultants. And I want to take this opportunity to welcome you to today's webinar. We hope that it's going to be of great impact to every one of us who is here. And feel free to ask any questions and also invite your friends who are not here with us so that as we start the webinar, as we start the presentations, each and every one of us will be able to learn a lot. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. So I'm going to introduce to you Passcode and tell you who we are. So if you're in this meeting, you probably have. I know most of you are interns, nurse interns, or maybe you're a nursing student or you're a nurse, and you've been thinking about advancing your nursing career internationally. You probably want to go to work in the US or in Germany, and you maybe have questions or confusion, or you just don't know where to start. So don't worry, because Passcode is the place to be, because that's why we are here. We help nurses to transition successfully into their international nursing careers. So we will take you through the USRN stroke NCLEX pathway. I believe those terms might be very familiar to you. We'll also be taking you through the German nursing pathway. We will give you a full career guidance on how you can be able to start all the way from registering to be a nurse in the US or in Germany, and also the steps in which you're going to follow. So I don't know if Mary Sylvia has joined us, so she can also introduce herself.
Yes, Ruth. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much. So good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone from wherever you are joining us from. My name is Mary. I work with Pascot Global Consultant in the Business Development Department. It's an honor to connect with such a passionate group of nurse interns who are taking important steps towards advancing their careers. And in today's session, we are focusing on nurses moving from being an intern to an international nurse. So I believe it's an exciting topic, and also taking you through the NCLEX preparation, your career opportunities abroad, or transitioning from just internship to the professional practice. So our goal at Passcode is to equip you with the right knowledge, with guidance and practical insights to help you succeed in your nursing journey. At Passcode, we are committed to supporting healthcare professionals like the interns who are in this gathering today, in this webinar today, achieving your career goals, whether it's locally or internationally. So before we begin, just to bring to us a quick or a few reminders. Kindly keep your microphone muted during this session for anyone who has already joined. If you wish to talk, you want to share your insights, please raise your hand. Then we will promote you into a panelist and you'll be able to share your insights. Then number 3, also feel free to ask questions in the chat box. We will address them during the session. Also stay with us until the end for important insights as we share in this webinar. I believe every speaker that will share their presentations, they have really prepared so well, and they're bringing unto us very important insights. So do not leave until the end, because we're going to share very insightful information on this webinar today. This is just the beginning. I hope that we will have many more of this as we impact our novice nurses and interns. So over to you, Ruth.
Thank you, Mary Sylvia. Before I invite our speaker for NCLEX, I will want to take you through why Passcode decided to come through for nurses to make the journey easier to transition into an international nurse. So we realized that many capable nurses struggle, and they don't struggle because of lack of knowledge, but they struggle mostly with the international exams, that is the NCLEX. And because the NCLEX exam requires a very specific or a very particular way of thinking, you need to be able to know how to prioritize the answers in your questions and how to apply the clinical judgment while answering your questions. So we help you by offering you structured preparation. That is, we offer you classes, and also we give you mock exams that has a standard of NCLEX, and we also equip you with professional expectations. So our long-term goal is to help the nurses or the interns who are sitting for the NCLEX exam to have the long-term professional readiness that will be tested during the NCLEX exam. So during the NCLEX process, there's also the registration process. So we assist you with the credential evaluation, which will be talked about much in depth by the speaker. We help you to choose which board of nursing you qualify for. We also help you apply for the authorization to test so that you can be able to sit for your exam. And we also assist you with the exam booking. So we try as much to make this NCLEX process very easy for you, because that is where many people get stuck, and maybe some of them even give up in the process. So for the German nursing pathway, we will also guide you on the requirements that you need. One of them, which is the German languages and we do offer German languages studies. We assist you with documentation. We help you with aligning your CV and translating your documents so that even when you finish the languages, you'll be ready to start your immigration process. So let me see if our speaker has joined so that I can invite him to continue with the presentation. In the meantime, if you have questions, you can share them with us on the chat so that we can be able to address them during the session.
Hello. Hello. Please confirm whether you can hear me.
Welcome, Humphrey. We can all hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much for this moment. Just a little setting, then we shall get going. My name is Humphrey Konge. I am a nurse by profession. Thank you so much for those who are confirming on chat. And I'm very happy to be in this meeting today to talk about nursing beyond the borders. So I'm going to take a few minutes to discuss with us the US pathway. We will have someone coming in to talk about the German pathway. So I will, for now, for the purpose of this presentation, limit myself to the US pathway. There are many things that we need to discuss in regards to the US pathway, and therefore I would like you to note your questions down. We will have a session for question and answer. But because we also have enough members of staff in this webinar, you can ask your questions on the chat box, and we shall be answering them as we proceed. I think that's better. So send your questions on the chat box, and as we proceed, we shall be answering them. So let's get going and let's get started. In fact, the other thing is that if you ask us more questions, we get to understand what exactly is it that you want to understand better. And we can always tailor our presentation according to your expectations. so that we can focus more on what exactly you want to hear. So, who we are, I will only mention what has not been mentioned, maybe, just to emphasize, is that we help nurses to navigate immigration barriers, so that if you graduate as a nurse in Kenya, you do internship, you get your NCK license, you are not qualified to practice in Germany or the US. So we help you to qualify to practice in those countries by imparting the required skills, certifications, credentials, so that you can go and become a nurse in the USA or Germany. And so today, because we are talking about USA, I want to tell you that the US is highly looking for nurses because of an acute shortage that has been affecting the healthcare industry in the US for the last 10 years, 10 or so years, and which is projected to go on now until 2035. So every year, we are having about 200,000 openings for nurses, about 200,000 openings for nurses. That means that in the US, every year, they are advertising more than 200,000 nursing positions. So, which means that even if you take a country like Kenya and you take all the graduates per year to the US, you will still have a huge shortage of nurses in the US. So the opportunity is unlimited for everyone who wants to go there. And so we distinguish ourselves as a company that supports you as nurses to qualify, to register, and get a license for the US. And I'm going to show you how. Okay. So if you want to come to our office, it is given here, KTDA Plaza, 4th floor. That is Nairobi City Center. We practice international ethics in assisting nurses to move abroad. We partner in different institutions, both international and local, to enable you walk this journey smoothly. This is just an example of some of the webinars that we do. We usually disseminate information for free. Just the other day, we had a webinar for job search and registrations that is telling you how to register for NCLEX and how to get a job after passing NCLEX. And for those who want to go to Germany, we as well have a series of webinars in this month of April, which we will be announcing to you in this particular webinar that we have today. So let's talk about the USRN process. What do we do in regards to the USRN process? The poster you can see on the screen was for the class of April, which departed this week. We admitted students on Monday, 6th. The admission will be closed tomorrow, Thursday. And the next class for NCLEX will be on 11th of May, Monday, the 11th of May. That is when we'll be having the next class for NCLEX. So for the USRN process, the first thing we do to you, and this one we do free of charge, is by giving you information. We give you information enough to enable you make an informed decision. Decision whether to go abroad is viable and whether it is of value to you. And then after giving you that information, once you make a decision to go abroad, we give you information for free on how to do the process. Because again, if you don't have the right information on how to do the process, you can experience lots of frustrations as you try to do the process. You can lose money by paying for items you do not require. We have seen people purchasing CGFNS services that are not necessary and spending hundreds of thousands of Kenyan shillings or tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, you don't have to do that because we give you information on how to do the process for free. The next thing we do for you is NCLEX registrations. Well, if you want to go to the US, we help you to do the process of NCLEX credentialing and registrations at a small fee. We also help you to do NCLEX revision to prepare for the NCLEX examination at a small fee. We help you, once you pass NCLEX, we help you to do interview preparations. We prepare you for interview, we get you a job, and once you get the offers, we help you to interpret the offers, and you sign a contract. And once you sign a contract, we help you to do your immigration process to the US. In that process, you will be needed to do an English examination like OET, IELTS, TOEFL, or PTE. Again, we help you with that. Basically, we hold your hand from the time that you start the process up to the end of the process, up to the time you move to the US. Now, before I go to the next slide, because I don't have a slide of the requirements, and I've seen someone has asked about the requirements, I want to tell you the requirements that are needed for you to do the USRN process. So if you have a place to write, you can write down the requirements. The first requirement is that you need to be a nurse who has graduated from a school of nursing, either a medical training college, at a diploma level or at a degree level. So the moment you are a graduate, you can do the US process even before you can do NCLEX even before you get your nursing council license. If you want to start the process before you get your nursing council license, you can start the process and do it even before you get your nursing council license, and you can be able to do NCLEX. The only difference is that there are some boards of nursing in the US that allow that, others don't allow. But when you come to us, we'll be able to advise you which board of nursing to go with. However, because many of the boards of nursing require nursing council license, list it also as a requirement, but note that if you want to do the process without the NCK license, you can do the process. Then when we mention the NCK license, you also need the NCK certificate. Those ones go together because of verifying your license. And the next requirement is from the School of Nursing, you will need what we call nursing school transcripts. So initially, when people finished nursing school, they used to just leave their transcripts at school. Nowadays, we encourage you that when you finish school, take your transcripts with you, go with them, be ready to start processes with them. Then you will also need your nursing school certificate. You need to have it. And then high school certificates. That is the NEC, Kenya National Examinations Council certificate will be needed. And then you will need your national ID card. If you don't have a passport, we can start the process with your national ID card. But on the day of taking the exam, you will need to have your passport ready. Okay. So let's look at how to move to the US. There are two ways of moving to the US or two ways of doing the US process. The first is whereby you're being sponsored by an agency. They are called staffing agencies. And I want you to differentiate this very well. Then the other way is where you sponsor yourself. That means you're not being sponsored by an agency. So when agencies sponsor you, they can give you full sponsorship, they can give you partial sponsorship, or they can guide you and then you pay for yourself, but they will consider that they have sponsored you. So when an agency sponsors you, these are some of the things that it is going to pay for you. They pay for your CGFNS, ATT application, NCLEX preparation, traveling to test center, visa screen certificate, immigration petition. They pay that for you. Initially, they used to pay to say that they are paying for free because they are going to give you employment, but it is never for free. When you are sponsored by the agency, at the end of the day, your immigration to the US actually becomes more expensive than when you sponsor yourself. So when an agency sponsors you, they are going to give you a rate of about 29 to 35, or even 26, 27 if you don't have more than 2 years of experience or more than 3 years of experience. And then you sign with them a contract of 3 years, about 6,200 hours. So the agency becomes your employer. The agency employs you. But here is the catch. The agency doesn't have a hospital of their own. So they are going to negotiate a deal with a hospital and take you to work there. But the agency is your employer. The hospital is not your employer. So the hospital pays the agency pays you. So if the agency is giving you $26 an hour, they can negotiate something like $40, $45 an hour. And anything that is above what they agreed with you, for every hour you work, they are going to get what is above what they agreed with you. So at the end of the day, when you work for this agency for 3 years or 6,200 hours, you're going to make for them a lot of money. And you may find that in that hospital, you are probably being underpaid. And that is something that a good number of agencies may not disclose to you when you are signing their contracts. So what distinguishes us as Passcode is that anyone who passes through us before they sign any contract, we have to analyze the contract with them. Yeah. Yesterday I was attending one of the live webinars by a group of nurses. We usually do webinars with them, and one of the issues that was coming up is that a big number of nurses sign contracts when they don't have information on what is provided in that contract. And that is usually a very big danger, because if you find that you signed a contract which is very punitive to you, you have gone to the US, you've started working, a whole 3 years becomes so much time for you. So much time for you, because the US works with shorter contracts. In fact, US works with contracts of 2 years, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. But when you're going for the first time, you sign a contract of 3 years. So if you sign a contract that is punitive to you, it will be very extra punitive to you, because when you sign a contract in the US, to breach that contract, then you have to pay a fee for breaching the contract. It's not just a matter of giving a notice. You cannot say that when you get to the US, you're just going to give a notice of 1 month, then you drop from that contract. You have to bear the cost of that contract. So that if you sign a contract with a staffing agency and they hire you, if you go to the US and you want to breach the contract, they are going to count the money they should have made from you if you worked for them for the entire period of the contract. And that money you are supposed to pay them. And if you are not ready to pay them, they will take you to court. Okay? And you will find that legal fees are high in the US. So you may not decide to sue them. You might have no option but to pay them. So the other way of going to the US, which is not being sponsored by an agency is the program called self-sponsored program. And self-sponsored program is where you sponsor yourself, and then once you have sponsored yourself for NCLEX, we guide you to get a direct hire job. If you want an agency job, we guide you to get an agency job, and then you get more benefits, as we're going to see. So in this process, we guide you through. We are your agency. The only difference is that we are not binding you with a contract. We are not binding you with a punitive contract. The process is yours. We are only guiding the process. So you pass NCLEX. When you're doing the self-sponsored program by passcode, you pass NCLEX when you are not bonded to any agency. You pass NCLEX when you don't have a binding job contract. And there should be no worry, because once you pass NCLEX, you even get a better job in terms of payment. If, for example, you are a nurse with 5 years of experience, you sign a staffing agency contract, you're going to be given $33 an hour. If you pass NCLEX, you can negotiate it to $40 an hour with 5 years of experience. And when you pass NCLEX and we are getting you an employer after NCLEX, the employer we are going to get you refunds all the money you used for your NCLEX. They are going to fund your immigration. That means they are going to pay for your immigration. They are going to refund the money you used for your NCLEX, and they are going to give you a referral bonus. And on top of that, the most important thing is that they are going to give you a rate that is commensurate to your experience. So if your experience is 2 years, a nurse with 2 years in the state of X, in X state in the US, is being paid $30 an hour. The direct hire agency is going to negotiate for you with the hospital to pay you exactly what an American nurse is being paid in that hospital without discrimination. And when you are employed directly by a hospital, what we call direct hire, you become a staff nurse in the hospital. When you are employed by an agency, you become an agency nurse. The difference is opportunities for growth, opportunities for study, scholarships. When the hospital is offering them, they first prioritize their staff, because if you are employed by an agency, you are not a hospital staff, you are an agency staff. So there are so many benefits that comes with you getting a job when you have already passed NCLEX. Even if you're going to be a staff, an agency nurse, to join an agency after NCLEX, doing NCLEX by yourself is the best way to go about it, because we can negotiate, we can help you to negotiate for a shorter contract. For example, instead of when you have already passed NCLEX and you're joining a staffing agency, instead of a 3-year contract, they can give you a 2-year contract, which means that you will finish it very fast. They are going to refund the money you used for the NCLEX. But what happens is that some people, because they don't have the information, they don't negotiate for such. So you find that there are some people who are going to use money, fund themselves for NCLEX, they join staffing agencies, they don't negotiate for anything. At the end of the day, there was not even any advantage of you doing NCLEX by yourself. So when you come to Passcode, we ensure that you are sharp, you have been given information, we want you to grab all the benefits that the NCLEX, all the benefits and the advantages that the NCLEX gives you. So how much do you need to sponsor yourself for the NCLEX? The first amount is our fee for helping you with the process. We charge a fee of 20,000 Kenyan shillings for East African citizens. And for those who are not East African citizens, we charge a fee of $200. The next fee is CGFNS fee. This is the fee for doing your document evaluation. CGFNS is a US body currently called True Merit. They charge a fee of $485. equivalent to 65,000 Kenyan shillings today. Your nursing school is going to charge you a fee to verify your transcripts. Your nursing council is going to charge you a fee of 12,050 shillings to verify your license. And then for the NCLEX revision program, we charge a fee of 30,000 Kenyan shillings for East African citizens and $300 for those who are not East African citizens for a program of 4 months. Then we are going to register with the Board of Nursing in the US. Registration is usually between 10,000 to 20,000 Kenyan shillings, depending on the board. And then we do a process called criminal background check. It's going to cost you between 13,000 and 15,000 Kenyan shillings, depending on the board. The last part is to apply for the exam once you have been cleared by the board. So we apply for a document called ATT, authorization to test. And once we get the authorization to test, which is like an examination card, we schedule your exam. The money for scheduling your exam is $150. So the total amount comes to about 1630 USD. 1630 USD, if you multiply that by the rates that we have today, you will find, let me just do it for you. So that's 1630 at 5. So you'll find it's around 220. So we approximate the process to be between 200 and 230,000 Kenya shillings. Variations being which board of nursing have you chosen. So if you have been following, you'll note that there are quite a number of items I was talking about depending on the board of nursing. So 10 to 20K depending. So the reason why I'm talking about the board of nursing is because when we are starting your process, we don't choose any board of nursing for you. Depending on where you went to school and which year you studied, you may qualify. You may find that you studied with someone in the same school, different years. They qualify for a board of nursing you don't qualify for. And this is another area where people are losing money because when they apply blindly, when they choose a board of nursing blindly. So for us, before we choose a board of nursing for you, we have to analyze your transcripts. We match you with nursing. We also analyze your names. We match your name process so that when you start the process and you do all the steps, you don't go to the embassy and then you're stuck there. You are seeing your visa, but you cannot get that visa because of simple mistakes that you did when you were starting. So we highly encourage that you have an expert guiding you in the process so that you don't mess up your process. So for the NCLEX registrations, we have another webinar. Someone will be mentioning the dates for NCLEX, specifically for NCLEX registrations. But if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them in this particular webinar before we are done. Let me tell you about our unique NCLEX revision program. It is a program that we really pride ourselves with because of very high pass rates. In the year 2025, we sustained pass rates of above 88%. In the year 2026, first quarter, rate of above 93%. And we are aiming higher because we are usually very dedicated to give you value for your money. We understand that the investment that is done in this program is a huge investment in terms of time and in terms of money. There is nothing that we pride in so much as to see you get value for your money and pass that NCLEX examination and move to the next step of immigration. So guys, we have prepared a 4-month, very comprehensive NCLEX review program that is not like any other. It is a program that was tested and which we invest in continuous research. Like now, the NCLEX had changes starting from 1st of April 2026. We started teaching the new NCLEX in January 2026. We did not wait for April to start teaching the new changes. We started teaching them in January, and we started doing webinars for the new changes in November 2025. We have highly invested in the NCLEX revision, and we have seen very nice results. So what makes our program different and unique is that we strictly follow the NCSBN curriculum. And the NCSBN, National Council of State Boards of Nursing, is the body that brings together all the nursing councils, state boards of nursing in the US, all of them together. And the NCSBN is the owner of NCLEX. They set NCLEX questions, they guide how NCLEX content should be created, they regulate everything to do with NCLEX. So we follow their guidelines, and we usually have live classes every day of the week, Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. East African time. And when you attend our classes, every class is recorded. So whether you attend a class or you don't attend, you will receive a recording through our online learning portal. So because we understand that sometimes you can be in a shift, we have made sure you can receive a recording. Besides that, we usually have enough assessments in the program. We call them module assessments. For every chapter that you do an exam, and those exams are provided for you online. You can do them anytime that you want. The other thing about our program is that we don't teach you a number of selected topics. We teach you all the topics that you're supposed to be taught in the NCLEX. We focus on preparing a nurse who will practice efficiently when they go to the US. Actually, the other thing that was being discussed in the webinar I was attending yesterday is that some people go to the US and they struggle to work. For the first few months, they struggle to work. Some of them can end up being fired because of not being able to adapt. So when we are teaching you NCLEX, we try as much as possible to simulate the reality of practice in the US. Because when you join our program, for those 4 months you'll be in the program, we prepare you to be a nurse in the US. You only go to do the exam for 5 hours. The NCLEX exam is a 5-hour exam. So you only go to do the exam for 5 hours to just confirm that you have been prepared to be a registered nurse in the US. And the moment you pass that exam, you receive your license. In the US, nursing, when you pass NCLEX, you receive a license. If you don't pass NCLEX, you receive a transcript showing your performance. So if you're planning to study for NCLEX, join Passcode Consultants. We are not going to let you down. I will not end without mentioning individualized sessions program. When you join our program, we usually have individualized sessions. We individualize the learning. So we have staff that are dedicated for that, full-time staff, who ensure that they follow you up individually, asking you how is it going? Are you having any difficulties? Are you feeling like giving up? Are you having any social issues that are affecting your revision? Are you thinking of postponing your exam? When do you want to test? We make sure that we work with you. And the journey becomes enjoyable. So this is a snapshot of our portal. The online portal where when you join the program, you will be logging in to the website and you will be studying from there. you will be starting from there. You will be looking at PowerPoint and a recording of the class from there. Okay, so I want to log in and show you practically what I'm talking about because nowadays online learning is very, very important. Just to show you that we have enhanced it and taken care of the same. So just give me a few. I'm just going to log in and show you. Okay, so I'm almost there. Okay, you can ask questions. You can ask Mary Sylvia, you can read for me any, or Ruth. One of you can read for me any questions that are there as I try to log in so that I can answer them. If there is any question that needs me to address, just a little bit as I try to log in. Do I have any questions that I can answer on the chat box? Please read them for me. I'm not able to check on the chat box now.
I can read the questions for you.
Yes, please do.
There is one, can I do the entire USRN process in phases? Must it be a continuous process all through? Then there is, does bed
Okay, let me
capacity?
answer that. Let me answer that, then you can read the next if you'll not be done.
Okay.
Yeah, so yes, you can do I would like the person who asked that question to elaborate further what they wanted to know. But yes, you can do the process in phases. You can do the process within 1 year. We usually encourage that if you are able, you can do the process, you should do the process within 6, 8 months so that you don't get tired with the process. And again, the other reason is because there is competition in the entire world. There are many people who are doing the process, and the visas, there's competition for visas, the EB3 visa. So what is happening is that the earlier you do the NCLEX and start immigration, the better for you. So yes, you can do in phases within a period of 1 year. You don't need to have all the money at once. People start with as little as 15,000, as little as 20,000 to just pay for registrations, or even as little as 30,000 to pay for the classes. As long as you plan yourself, you are good. Next question, please.
Does bed capacity affect the process?
No, not at all. When you are doing the self-sponsored program for NCLEX, you don't need to worry about bed capacity. When we get to the point of getting you an employer, by that point you should have sorted that issue. Um, it can come up, but it really should not be an issue why you should not do the process. Because when you're doing the self-sponsored program, you are doing it by yourself. You are not tying yourself to any employer. So the issue of where you work, bed capacity does not really come up. Next.
For the self-sponsored route, do I pay for the flights myself or does the employer pay for it?
Employer pays for it. The employer sponsors the immigration, the employer sponsors the entire immigration process and pays for your flight. Next question.
That's all.
Okay, there is one I can see on the Q&A. Do you need to renew any documents before the process ends? The person who asked that question, please elaborate which documents you're talking about because I did not understand it well. So this is the online portal. So you will go to passcodeconsultants.com and there's this class here, NCLEX Navigator 2026. You will be able to scroll down. These are the exams. These are part of the exams that you'll be doing. They are online. You just click the exam and do it. They are timed exams. I just want to show you a few, maybe a uh, particular session, how you can navigate through. So let me try maybe something like this. So assuming you are in the passcode NCLEX graduation program, you would just need to click the video and start listening to the recording. So this is a recording. You'd if for example, you missed this class, you'd just go there and start listening to this video. So that is the tutor teaching that class. And below that, we have the PowerPoint. So you can decide either to listen to the recording or to just read the PowerPoint. Okay, so the PowerPoint is there, very well summarized in point format. And the exams, you also do them on the online portal. So I'm almost done, but because I can see 2 questions have been added, let me answer them before I hand over. In terms of experience, does internship count as a year of experience and should it be in a government hospital? Even if it's in a private hospital, it is okay. And most employers now are counting internship as part of your experience. So it is a very big added advantage to the interns. Next question is, what is the least experience level needed? For the self-sponsored program, for you to do NCLEX by yourself, you need 0 experience. You see in the requirements I gave you, I did not mention experience. Because for you to do the self-sponsored program, you don't need any experience. You need your license. You need your graduation certificate, and that is all. The issue of experience was given by employers, was given by staffing agencies. They're the ones that each gives their own, like 2 years experience, 3 years experience. In fact, initially they were only taking nurses who had 3 years experience. Then because of the demand, they reduced 3 years to 2 years. Then they also reduced from 2 years to 1 year. Some of them are take people even with six months experience. So the reason why I'm telling you can start with 0 experience where the self-sponsored program is because if you start with 0 experience, by the time you're doing NCLEX, you will be already 6 years to 1 year experience. So the earlier you start, the better. We have seen that the visa bulletin is moving forward. The US pathway is now very much open and moving faster. And this is the best time for you to start the NCLEX. Hi, anonymous attendee. Can I pay for flights and all cost everything in self-sponsored? You just connect with me with the hospital. You don't need to pay for those because the employer pays for those. All the employers in the US pays for immigration and flights. So you don't need to pay for them. Why do you want to give them money and they already have set a budget for that? Okay. So thank you so much for listening to me. That's the end of my presentation. Back to you, moderator.
Okay, Director. Hello. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation that you've shared with us. We've really learned a lot, and I hope the interns here now know the way forward in regards to the USRN pathway. So I'm going to invite our next speaker, here Jonathan Ouma, who will be taking us through the German pathway. But before then, I wanted to remind you that our next intakes will be on 11th of May for both German and NCLEX, and we're looking forward to having you in the next class. So prepare yourself in advance. We'll also be sharing our curriculum of events with you, the next webinars, the next series of webinars, so that you register first. So welcome here, Jonathan. You can now take over.
Okay, so hope everyone can get me well.
Yes, we can.
Okay, good. So, and you can see my presentation also.
Yes, you.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, good. So, I'm Jonathan Ouma, there you've been told, and I'm also a nurse student based in Germany, and I've been through this path, and I've been in Germany for now like 2 years, and yeah, I have some good experience to share, and also maybe mixed ones, good and bad, but the bad are few. So what I want to start with is moving through the Ausbildung, which is now becoming a very common way so that people can access Germany, because Ausbildung is taking many people than others. But the main one that is of area of concentration, because Germany has a big labor shortage there, is the nursing pathway. So the nursing pathway is the one that I will check on. So what is this Ausbildung? Someone may ask that. Ausbildung is like a vocational training in Germany. Like here in Kenya, we have vocational training centers like the TVETs. So in Germany, that is also now what is called Ausbildung. And it combines work and study. What do we mean with work and study? You will get, we say, an employer who will be paying now the studies, your study. So you go to school, when the school closes, you are at work, which now we say like it is a rotational period. Like here in Kenya, the nurses, they go to the university. When it is holiday, they go to the um, rotational programs. So it is just like that. So when the school closes, you are at work. When the school opens, you don't work. So it is not like you go to work and you go to school the same day. No, it doesn't work like that. There are Ausbildung that last 2 to 3.5 years, so it depends. But the one for nursing, always it is 3 years. 3 years. Then it is a paid training. Paid means that every month you get some small stipend that can sustain you well in Germany. It's not too small, but it's enough to sustain someone. So that is what now this Ausbildung is. And the benefit, like I said, is you will earn while learning. Even if you go to school 2 months, these 2 months you just earn money. You get recognized qualifications. With this Ausbildung, when you do it in Germany, the nursing Ausbildung mainly, you can work in Europe, the whole Europe, it is recognized. So maybe after 10 years, you are tired working in Germany, you can move to France, you can move to Italy, you can move to Luxembourg. So long as it is in Europe, you can move to any country. That is one benefit. It is recognized qualification. And there are high chances of employment. There, there is no question that what if I finish this house building? Do I get employment? You will get a contract even before finishing that house building. They monitor and see this person is almost doing well in
Hi,
school,
Jonathan.
and we are sure the person is going to
We
graduate. So,
we had lost you.
now it's okay.
Yeah, you're just breaking a little bit.
Okay, maybe let me start from here. What is house building? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me start from there. So I've said the house building is a vocational training in Germany, and it combines work and study. So you can work and you study at the same time. So this work and study works this way. When the school is on, like when you are in the session, you are attending school, you don't go to work. You'll go to school up to 2 p.m. After that, you go at home, you relax, you read, and something like that. When but also you be keen. There are some, there are some people who have opened their own, let's say, care homes, and they use people sometimes not in a good way. You can find you go to work weekends, they you go to school weekends, they want you to go to work. So it happens in some few places, not many places, but some few places. But that one doesn't happen to Kenyans. I've not had a Kenya complaining that like that. It's mostly those who come from the Asian countries. They are the ones being used like that, where you work and you study same day. But normally it is when it is school time, you just concentrate on books. When the school closes, in German they call it Ferien, during holidays now, you are at your station of work, you are now gaining experience. What you learned in school, you apply it now in the practical, and it is very interesting because now in Germany they teach you what is there. So you learn something in school, when you go to the workplace, you just find it like how you were taught. So it is very, very simple. So it lasts like 3 years, 2 to 3.5 years. Some as building only go for 2 years. 2 years, that is an assistant. 2 years, that is an assistant. But now a full program is 3 years, then that one you are a nurse. And it is a paid training. You are paid as you learn. You don't pay school fee. Yours is only to avail yourself in class. You learn, end month, you get something in your account. Then the benefits of doing this house building, one is you will earn while learning. So even if you have 3 months, you've not worked, you are just in school, you will still be getting the funds, you will still be getting that money. And also, it is a recognized qualification, meaning with the house building, you can work in almost all countries in Europe with this house building that you do in Germany. So maybe you can be in Germany for, let's say, 10 years, and you say, no, I'm bored with Germany, you can move to another country with the same house building. So it is a recognized qualification. There are high chances of employment. So this means even before you finish that house building, you can already start getting contracts for employment because there is a very big shortage. So the chances of employment are high. Then it is a pathway to permanent residency. The moment you finish your house building, you will be given a work permit of not less than 5 years. So 5 years work permit you already have. After this 5 years, you have qualified for permanent residency. So it is a good pathway for permanent residency when you are in Germany. So those are the benefits. Now let's get to general requirements. I'm still on this house building. First is a minimum high school certificate. Let me put up to C minus. It cannot, C minus is the one that is mostly required. C minus. And the German language, B1 or B2. But nowadays, or let's say these years, since last year, B2 is the one that. Yes, there are some institutions that can take with B1, but rare chances, because you can apply with B1, someone applies with B2. So it is just obvious that the person with B2 will be chosen. So the most is always the B2 is the perfect one. With B1, you are 50-50. So you can apply with B1. You can get a B1 certificate, start applying, but meanwhile you are working on B2. So that when those people can tell you, help us with B2, even two modules, then you can provide. You can do 2 modules of B2 and provide. So B2 is the most required German language level, and the B1 also very rare chances with B1. But with B2, it is high chances. Then you should also have a motivation and readiness to relocate. Some people, you don't have that motivation to do the Ausbildung, which mainly is this nursing. Yeah. Moment. Okay, so just a moment now, so that we can talk of the nursing pathway. I've just been reminded majority here are nurses. So Entschuldigung.
Meanwhile, you can be texting all the questions that you have on the chat box, and we're going to answer them here. Or if you want to ask your question here, you can unmute yourself, then you ask the question. We have social media platforms. We are on TikTok, we are on Instagram. So follow us as at Passcode Global Consultants on our TikTok. We also have our WhatsApp groups. One of us will be sharing the links here. So we have a WhatsApp group for German and a WhatsApp group for NCLEX. So you can join the one that you want. So the links will be shared here on the chat box. So just click on the group that you want to join for you to get more information about the pathways. So for those who are interested in NCLEX, our NCLEX number is 2547 26 311477. Then our languages number is 2547 68184
Okay, Sharon, now I think I've gotten the right document, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So ensuring I had the house building and I'm mistaken, but now being the audience are nurses, so that is also quite good. So that is moving to Germany as a nurse. First, Germany needs qualified nurses. With nurses is in Germany now, they are the most needed than any other people. And there is that with nurses, they have that opportunity for direct employment pathway. Not that you are going to learn, you are just going for direct employment. And also, what is needed there is recognition of your foreign qualification. That is also required. So, meaning moving to Germany as a nurse now, you will have your papers recognized. Nursing diploma or degree, that is now first requirement. The work experience is preferred. It depends with the hospital, but at least you should have your license. You should have it. So that is now what will help in doing this recognition. And also the German language. With the nurse, with B1, you can relocate. But to get your papers recognized or to get yourself recognized so as you work as a nurse, then you need that base VI, the B2. So with B1, you can relocate, but you will start working as a nurse assistant, not as a nurse, but you will start working as an assistant. But when you get B2 and your papers are recognized, then you can now work as a full nurse. And also that willingness to relocate, that is always, it applies to many people. That is always a requirement that you are willing to relocate to Germany. And now on this recognition process, in Germany, they call it Anerkennung. There you submit the qualification for evaluation. That is now the your diploma or degree certificate, your license. Those are the main things that are needed for this Anerkennung process. And they will be compared if they match the German standard. And it has been confirmed that always the diploma or degree for nursing in Kenya, they fit the German standard. So that one is not questionable. So on the Anerkennung, obvious it will go through. And now you may require adaptation course or exam. That one, there is an exam maybe that you will be sitting for when you get to Germany. Now, like this one that you always sit for here in Kenya, in Germany also is there. So that one is not immediately, but takes time. That is not, it will not be immediately, but maybe after 6 months or after 8 months, maybe, then you will have to do that exam. So with the language requirements, I've already talked about it. B1 minimum. With A2, it can't work, but some states will require B2. A medical German recommended. Now, they need the vaccinations of the hepatitis A and B. They need the measles vaccination and the yellow fever. Those three, make sure you have them. That is the medical German recommendation that I mean here. And the certificates, maybe GOTE, TELC is not in Kenya, but GOTE or even OSD. If you have OSD, B1, B1 will work well. Now, on the application process for nursing, the first thing that will start is application for recognition. Your papers must first be recognized. So when the passcode is working on your relocation, the first thing they will do is take your papers and apply for recognition, which will take around 2 to 3 months. After the recognition of papers, so recognition of papers always starts immediately you get B1. When you are proceeding with B2, your papers are in process. They are now in process, and the moment you are finishing B2, you've gotten the recognition. Then now you can apply for nursing jobs. And that one now is where Passcode will come in and help in the application of nursing jobs and organize for interviews, because you have to attend the interview, where also will help you in the interview preparation, what is being asked, how should you answer these questions, so that when you just finish the interview, you receive that job offer. So paper recognition is the fast process. That one will happen when you are in B1. Already that process should start. When you are proceeding with base 5, that is B2, now the recognition process is on, and it can take 2 to 3 months. It can be shorter, it can take long. Then applying for the job, then you attend interview, then you receive job offer. So it is not a complicated process. It is only that it requires that patience, because on that application for recognition, it can take time. And the cost can go with the state. The cost of the recognition of papers depends on the state. So it can go up to maybe 300 euros. 300 euros, that one can be up to 45,000 on some states. I think that is the maximum. Some state also can take 100 euro. So it depends on the recognition of papers. It depends on the state where the many employers are, or where has been chosen that now here is where I want to look for the jobs. So always we look for a good state where you can integrate well, not a bad state where, but all states in Germany are good. There is no state that we say it's bad. All of them are good. Some pay well, some also don't pay that much. And now that one application process is done. You've received job offer. You have the contract. Now the visa. You will be applying for work visa. And with work visa, you have to provide that job contract, which will be sent to you. The proof of qualification, that is the recognition. You will be given a letter that now your papers have been recognized. You can work in Germany. The proof of recognition, you'll need to have it there. It will be sent to you through email. Health insurance. When you are traveling, they need this health insurance. Is very important, and there I think Sharon will always guide you on which one you can take. You can take health insurance when you are here. When you get to Germany, you register another one and you cancel that one, so that you just work on the one that you will be paying through your, because your employer will be paying 50%, you will be paying 50%. So I think when you get to Germany, you get another another health insurance. So the one that you'll use from here, you won't even maintain it in Germany. So when you get to Germany, you will register another one. So in the visa process, they will need that health insurance. It's very important, and there, like I said, Sharon will advise well. So if now adaptation to the program is that practical training in hospital. You will not just be exposed like you get to Germany and you are told tomorrow go to work. There is practical training in hospital. Now, they help you to integrate the system. You know how it works, because it is a little bit different with the Kenya system. So you'll find in Germany, I say it is a little bit easier, not thorough the way it is in Kenya. You will find it very easy. And you'll also be learning maybe new things in this hospital. You'll be learning how the health system in Germany works. So that is what now is referred to as the practical training in hospital, which will take 6 to 12 months. And in this process, this 6 to 12 months, your papers now, you are on the process of being recognized as a full nurse. So meaning 6 to 12 months, you are like an assistant, but not doing assistant jobs, but you are just working with someone. You have someone who is guiding you, who is telling you, now this is what you need to do, this is what you need to work on, this is how we do at this time, this is how we take care of these patients. That is now the training that you'll be undergoing. And this one will now lead to the full recognition. After 6 to 12 months, you will have your papers recognized. You can work as a nurse. So that is something that is, it needs patience. So you can't get to Germany today and tomorrow you are a full nurse. No. it takes time. So you are doing this training also for the exam that you will be doing that I touched up there. It is part of this training. So within this 6 to 12 months, 6 is the minimum, 12 is the maximum. But mostly for many people, it takes 6 months. I've never had someone who has said they have taken 12 months. Maybe if you take time to integrate. But if you're someone who learns quick, your papers recognition will take 6 months. But now for you as individual, also you need to be well prepared so that you take the shortest time to learn these things as possible. Then now let me come to salary expectation. I know there people have many questions there always. Before recognition, you will be working on a lower salary. That is maybe 2,000 to 2,200 euros in a month. But after recognition, it ranges from 2,800 to 3,500 plus. That is after deduction, not that that one will be subjected to tax. We call it brutto. So that one is what you'll get, but you can see it extends. That one now goes with extra experience and shift. Now, the more you work in Germany, you have 8 years experience, you will find you have that one for experience. The salary is a little bit high. But for the 2,800, that is now when you will be starting. When you will be starting after recognition, you start there around 2,800 after deduction. That one can be more when you work night shift. More night shifts, you get much pay. When you work on Sundays and holidays, you get another good pay. When you work, like your shifts are changing, also there is money for changing shifts. So you will find that it can exceed, it can even get to 3,000. Then also on salary here, let me add also, you will have an advantage of doing a mini job. It is called mini job. You only go 3 to 4 times in a month. So 3 to 4 times, you have another hospital where you can work, where you are paid 600 euros that is not taxed. So you can have this 2,800, you add your 600 there, you have 3,400. If you work night shift, you can get to 3,500. So when you are someone who is ready to work, that 2,800 will surpass it. It will be the least money you can have, but it can be more. It will be more, not can. It will be more there. So with extra experience, as you continue working in Germany, the salary continues growing. That is something you be assured of. Then the benefits is also that high demand job. Germany is where you can just apply for a job today evening and tomorrow morning you have an interview scheduled for you. So it is a high demand job. When you get to a hospital, you experience that here I'm not comfortable. Just feel free and apply another one. Just get to the website, look for a job, apply. So it is a high demand job. So don't feel like if I leave this one, I won't find another one. No. In Germany, it's very, very simple. You just get to the websites and apply. But it is easy when you are in Germany, not when you are outside. That is where, when you are not in Germany, that's why you will need the passcode so that they can help you, because now they have some reliable hospitals that provide contracts outside Germany easily. So when you're in Germany, it is easy, but don't do that immediately. Don't get to Germany and in 3 months you want to change. Just take 1 year maybe, or 2 years, you get used to it, then you start changing, because when you start changing after 3 months, you can have a difficult time. Then it is also a permanent residency pathway, and family reunification is possible. When you have family, after being 1 or 2 years, you can apply for the family reunion visa if you have children, if you have maybe you are spouse, but Remember, they must learn language. That is also a requirement to them. They have to learn the language. So language will apply also when you are doing the family reunion. The family members, they must learn language. The only child, maybe 2 years old, is the one that can be exempted. But from 3 years going onwards, they must learn language. And the advantage is for family reunion, they are not required to sit for an exam. It's only learning the language to know it, and that's all. Now, the challenges, like I said, the language barrier is a very big challenge to many people. So that's why we recommend learn the language well. So when you get there, you don't have that language barrier. Language barrier is a very big problem in German. You'll find you can't express yourself. You know something, but the words are not coming. So that's why now when you learn language, even the Germans, they respect someone who speaks their language because for them, they can't learn English. And for you, you can learn language, their language, and speak with them. So even when you are learning the language and you find that you are not perfect, they are not looking for perfection. So long as you can express yourself, even when the sentences are broken, but you can express yourself, they have no problem. They will understand you always. And they don't correct people always like they tell you, no, you don't speak well. They just listen and they reply to you. So you will find like it is easier to get comfortable with them because you don't get ashamed that I can't speak. So the language barrier, the only way to beat it is do away with the fear. Don't fear. Learn the language. And the cultural difference. You'll have many culture shock. When you get to Germany, you get the Germans are not socialites. They rarely interact with people. You can mistake them to be racist, but not all, not many. In fact, I've never experienced racism, but some people say it is there. But I think the cultural difference is what can make you maybe sometimes you judge them. But when you get there, take time and study the culture. Know the German culture. Know what is there so that you don't have many expectations which can hurt you in future. And another thing is now workload in the health sector. That is a challenge because they don't have many people to work in this health sector. So it is what is creating this workload. Meaning, in Germany, someone can call and say, I'm sick, I won't come to work today. Maybe if they call 5 people, you will find that day at work you are only 3 people. And you have even 80 patients to work on. So that is now what is referred with workload. And it is not like daily, it is rarely. So workload is still there in the health sector. That is why they need people because the workload is very, very high. So that is some challenge maybe you will experience, maybe not daily, but on and off. Today, people are there. Many people now, the work is easier. Another day, 3 people are sick, they are not there. You have to take in their place. And it is very funny. Someone will just call last minute and say, I am sick, I cannot come. So those are the challenges. Now, on the tips for success, maybe is start learning the German early. Prepare documents properly and choose the right federal state. I spoke about the state. I said some states are good, some are also good, but not 100% like others. So on the federal state, you choose well, where you get good pay, where the work environment is good. And that one, you will be advised well. For the choosing of federal state, you don't need to worry. There you will be advised well. And this process requires patience because you can see the cognition is 2 to 3 months. Then you get to Germany 6 to 12 months, you need to be doing some training. So you need to be patient. That is the most important thing there. So before maybe I conclude, let me, Sharon, get me if there are some questions.
Yes, there are.
Uh-huh.
Someone was asking about our cost. We've answered them. Let me check another question. Someone is asking how long does it take to be a permanent resident in Germany as a nurse?
That one takes 5 working years. So when you go this year, after 5 years, you can apply for permanent residence. But there is a debate to extend it to 8. So it's still being discussed. Maybe if it changes, we'll inform you. But for now, it is 3 to 5 years.
Then someone is asking, this one you've answered about the pay. How is the pay for
Yeah.
nurses in Germany?
Yeah.
Those are all the questions we had. The others we've answered them on
Okay.
the chat box.
Okay. So maybe just to conclude, is Germany offers great opportunities for nurses mostly because Germany is, I think, one of the countries with the best health system. So there you can learn a lot. You can also your health is much assured. You know you'll get the best treatment also when you are sick. So you don't need to worry. And proper preparation is always the key for you to succeed. So with the Germany for nurses, great opportunities. You don't need to worry about it. Okay. Any other question?
I think silence means there are no more questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank
Silence
you.
means
Thank you so much, Jonathan, for the presentation. You've
most
really given
welcome.
us some insightful information about German pathway. For young nurses, this is a very nice pathway because it takes a very short period of time once you've acquired your B1 nurses. Currently, if you know a nurse with a B1, please refer them to us. We have a lot of job opportunities in Germany and Austria, and we are going to help them get employment. For those who are yet to start German language learning, this is your call, wake up call to start the language and relocate. And you know, the good thing with Germany, once you have the German visa, you can go to any German speaking country. So you can go to Luxembourg, you can go to Austria, you can go to Switzerland, any German speaking country. So think about the process. We're looking forward to have you in our next class. I'm going to hand over this chance now to our marketing executive, Ruth, to continue.
Okay, thank you, Sharon. I want to take this opportunity to thank our presenters for today. They have given us very insightful information, and I know each one of us who had attended this webinar has benefited in one way or the other. And we look forward to having more interaction. You can reach out to us if you want more information on the German nursing program. Please reach out to 0768 181 141. If you want more information on the US nursing pathway, you can reach out to 0791 126 717. I want to thank you all for attending this webinar. And I want to remind you that we will be having many of these webinars, and I believe we can all benefit from them. So we have another webinar coming up on the 12th. We actually have a free NCLEX class coming up on the 12th of April. So please mark your calendars. We are going to share with you the links in the groups. I have shared the group links on the chat. So please check the chat and join our WhatsApp group. We have WhatsApp group for NCLEX, that is the USRN, and we also have WhatsApp group for German. I've shared the links. Please use the links to join the group so that you can be getting any information that we share there about our webinars and any other information that we usually share on the groups. So we have an upcoming class, free class for NCLEX on 12th. You can join and be able to see some of the topics that are covered in NCLEX, and you'll come to learn that NCLEX it's not a hard thing. It's not a hard exam or a hard course. We have another webinar for registrations on 19th. So we'll be covering USRN registrations and job search. So we will tell you what are all the requirements that you need for the registration process. We will break down the costs, everything that you need, even in terms of costs, and also what happens after you pass NCLEX. We take you through the job search, how we go about it. So please mark your calendars. Also on 19th, we will share all these links on the group. And we also have another webinar for interns on 22nd. So we will share the link in the group. Kindly register and purpose to join. Thank you so much. Also follow us on our social media platforms. I've also shared the links to our platforms on the chat. I believe that you'll be able to get more information through our social media platforms because we do a lot of content on our programs. So thank you so much. If anyone would love to comment on how the webinar was, you may raise your hand so that you can give us your feedback on how the webinar has been. Or you can comment on the chat also. We really value your feedback. Okay, I can see someone is asking for the link. Let me reshare the link for the groups here. Just a moment. So if no one has a comment, oh, thank you, Flora. Flora is saying that the session was very insightful. We will have more of this, and we love to know that we are actually giving you information that you needed. So if that's all for today, then I'm going to end this. We are going to end the session here, and I can't wait for you guys to reach out to us and join us in our next intake, which is on 11th of May. So thank you so much.